Lady 2, we have Adrian, and you got top 4 at the Dallas Fort Worth Regional hosted by Sci-Fi this past weekend, right?
Yep.
Ooh, what were you playing?
I was playing Spright Melffy again.
Spright Melffy. Did you enjoy the deck?
I do enjoy the deck. I think the deck's pretty good. It has 0 grind game, but
You did say that last time. People agreed, actually, in the comments.
Yeah, it really doesn't have a grind game. If the game starts going long, you probably lost against most decks. But the goal is to set pretty much an unbreakable board unless they have like board breakers, like crazy board breakers, and then live a turn, and then Gamma Burst turn 3, and then kill them.
Okay. How many cards did you main deck?
40, of course.
I should ask now, what are your shoutouts?
Shout out to my sponsor, Main Phase. They're helping me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Misunderstood Gaming and all the boys. Eddie, Jose, Nunez, Jade, Zach, Brandon, Raul.
Damn, you named them all.
Yeah. They won't let me forget it if I don't. Shout out to Valley guys. I forgot them last time. Ramsey, Pablo, Raymond, Gilbert, and everyone who drove up with me. Gio. Zeke, obviously, and then Dooley.
Yeah, you gave Ramsey one?
Yeah, I had to.
Alright,
Don't message me if I don't.
Let's start your profile.
Okay. Alright, so standard, 3 blue, 3 jet, red carrot. I was on 2 red before, but it turns out like there's no point in trying to be a grind deck. It's just never going to happen. You just need 1. If it gets banished off a rise and you're going second, you're probably not going to need it anyways. And then obviously the Nimble package. These cards are crazy. As much as I hate the idea of running like a 6 Nimble, it comes up a lot with that second sprint. But it sounds so bricky to me. I haven't tried it yet, but I think that's pretty fine and standard. The Melffys, I don't know if you need me to explain what they do again, but they pretty much just spit out Herald. And a lot of people like just don't read this card correctly. They didn't know it's like on attack as well, and like just the way like priority works. So I had a Sword Soul player like special Ecclesia, and then I activated effect, and then I asked for response, and they chained, which they shouldn't have, because then their Moye has to be chain link 1 and then the Exceed's chain link 2, so that was like a misplay by then. But a lot of people just don't understand how that kind of functions. 3 starters, Trap and Gamma Burst. Didn't play Smashers. Smashers doesn't do anything. I played it in the side, but in the main deck it doesn't do anything going second because you already have to be playing in order for it to be live.
And you like crossover? You like cross?
Did I what?
You like double cross?
Oh, double cross. Yeah, I do like double cross a lot. I think this is what you go for every turn 0 or turn 1. It gives you double Herald, but a lot of the times it came up as just being an interruption on its own. When you get Dark Ruler, at least it's an open interruption. You have something like that with Hand Trap, Book of Moon, and things like that. And then this was the MVP of the whole weekend. I must have won at least half my games with it. Like I said, there's no grind game. You just get to turn 3 and then kill them. Standard stuff. 3 Prosperity. There's no point in not playing Prosperity. This card's crazy. Obviously, the interaction, Prosperity into Gamma when they have a Rise Heart. It forces the Rise Heart, you get a Gamma then, make a sprint. That's really broken. And then just, it helps you just not brick. I didn't brick all day except for one time. That was my loss to Plunder. Shout out to Brandon. But he top 2, so congratulations to him. He did well. For toolbox cards, 2 Cosmic. I know this is pretty controversial. I think it did well for me. It always traded, like going second. Like there's always one back row that you need to trade with, especially with Spright. Like little things like a Book of Moon, an Imperm, a Blackout traded a lot. Then Skill Drain against Labyrinth, like you need something for it. And then against Kashtira, it does really well going first, trading it with Planet and trading with Birth, the best card in the deck. So I really like Cosmic. This deck has room for it. 2 talents. I kind of wish I played 3. I didn't draw this card a lot, but the games I did, it was pretty much instantly game. The deck plays through hand traps really well, especially like low impact ones. So as soon as they hand trap you and you can look at hand, I mean, it's game over.
Yeah.
3 Book of Moon. This card didn't do as well as I wanted it to do. I didn't play as much cash as I thought I was going to play. But it did trade kind of well with Sword Soul. But I think in retrospect, if I had to like redo the list, I'd probably cut one of these for Fenrir, maybe play 41 or make room for the second one.
Okay.
And then for hand traps, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, and Gamma. This was the best hand trap of the weekend.
Gamma?
Yeah, the Gamma's crazy. Not only just like going second, obviously, but going first. Like when you starter, everybody ashes starter. Some people ash pot, which was kind of crazy, but
like essentially you have a lot of cards to throw at them that are ash bait essentially, and you just gamma them.
Yeah,
it's
really just like ash or pot, but a lot of the times people would I'd just be like, man, I hope this resolves, and they'd be like ash and like gamma.
And then they lose.
There's some funny moments for sure, because then it makes Sprin, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's it for the main deck.
And then your extra deck.
Extra deck. So the Herald. I cut the other Melffy Synchro, the bounce. I don't think that card's real. Just Herald's just always better in like almost every scenario. The only scenario it's not is like when you're playing Spright and they like summon 2 random 2s without activating effects and then go gigantic. But that just things like that just don't come up. I never regretted it. Never missed it. For Exceeds, we have the Double Zeus, Downard. This is pretty much just part of the Zeus package, but this outs Mara Jade and like things you don't want to go to the graveyard. Mosquito.
So you played both.
I did play both. Zeke convinced me to play this on the way, or like the night before, and it never came up once, and I probably won't play it going forward. Like I understand what it's for, and like you need 3 monsters to do it, and this deck doesn't spit out monsters like that anymore. To where it feels like punting to me every time I try to go for that. So I just didn't like it very much. It could be just any Exceed that can't be destroyed by battle, so it could really this actually has like a relevant effect. But I didn't miss anything at all, so maybe it can just stay, because it's not like something I really needed in my extra deck. Soul Sweeper, this card's really good. It helps you kill a Gamma Burst. It just clears anything off the board. But I would never cut that. Mannequin Cat, I don't run any cute targets for this, but it's really good when they ash you. So like when you have a really gas hand, you kind of hope they ash you, like especially when you're playing cash, because you can like special the ash, put a monster on their board so they can't play. Pretty much Ibly lock them, and then you get a special carrot or a red.
Okay.
Yeah, so it lets you like link off your carrot or red, bring back the carrot or red from grave, which is, I like this card a lot. I probably would never cut it. Melffy, the Forest. The people didn't, like every time they asked me what they did, I just told them you can read it just so they can read it on their own, and they never read it correctly. So pretty much like when it's bounced on a new chain.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how stop the Moe.
Exactly. And so like if they special like Fenrir Unicorn, you bounce, and then they have to, with turn player, activate as Chain Link 1, and then you activate this as Chain Link 2. If they don't activate it, then they miss their window.
Okay.
Gigantic Spright, obviously, and then 4 links. There was against Orso, I got deburied, and I realized like I did not play. Like I lost pretty hard to that card, but I still won that game just with like flex cards. But these all came in. Like obviously the second sprint comes in a lot, even when like on the kickback you want to just send the second nimble to summon out a beaver just to make a heavy gigantic and then start playing. And then Phoenix came up like 2 or 3 times. Cerberus only came up once, but I would never cut it. It's a good toolbox.
Nice. So now your side deck.
Side deck, we have a couple 1-ofs. Change of Heart. Obviously, it's just kind of like a sacky 1-of, but it's just really good going second into everything. The third Cosmic, and Harpies, and Smashers. I didn't want to see this card going second, so I didn't want to main it. It doesn't do anything unless you're already playing. And I didn't play Evenly Match because I always wanted like Zeus to be an option. I think Evenly Match is a crazy card, but I also think people were like kind of a little bit prepared for it. And I just, it's a Zeus deck going second.
Yeah.
And I think Cosmic's just much more reactive, and Harpies is Harpies. For going second cards, Joel and Lockbird is for all the rogue decks, Dark World, Drytron nonsense that I might run into. But it's also really good against Spright, like the Melffy Spright build too. It can definitely hurt the deck. Like times I got gold.
Or the Runic Spright.
Yeah, or the Runics, yeah. It's just, I think it should be in every side deck. Dark Ruler, this was a change I wasn't playing, but then after the 250th, you saw a lot of Spright pop up, so I expected a lot of Spright. So I think this is like the best thing to have into a lot of Spright, but it also just like took care of Sword Soul a lot of the day. I played 4 Sword Soul, which is like really weird. But they all got 2.
You had it.
Yeah. Solemn Judgment and 2 Anti-Spell. I wish there was room for a 3rd Anti-Spell because of Dark Ruler no more, but I just couldn't find room in the side deck. Judgment is needed for those blowout cards, and then Anti-Spell's crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Adrian. Congratulations on your placement this past weekend. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. No, I don't think so. Like and subscribe for Eric.
Of course, right? All right, thank you.
No problem.